Hey, so we are back in Spiral Abyss, this time 2.1. 2.1 changed both floor 11 and floor 12. This is going to be the full guide, free-to-play friendly guide for floor 11. As usual, the left side of the screen is going to show you the floor layout, and the right side of the screen is going to show you the total number of enemies. So the main gimmick of floor 11 is corrosion. Whenever you defeat an enemy, every party member is going to be affected with corrosion, and that is going to drain your HP. This will go through shields, so you cannot use shields to mitigate the damage on this floor. You absolutely have to have healers, and that's really difficult for us because the only free-to-play healer that we have is Barbara. So I did, if you saw in the team preview, I did have to bring a Bennett. I did try with Diona earlier, but I could not finish it. I did not have the DPS to be able to do this, so I did have to use Bennett. But you can use any healer. You can use Bennett, you can use Diona, you can use Xiangling if you got her. If you have a Jean or a Chi-Chi, you can also use them. So here in floor 11, right at the start here, if you saw, I used the ult with Animo Traveler. Animo Traveler is going to be mainly used on these floors just for grouping up enemies. So it's going to be between him and Barbara and Xiangling doing all of the damage. All of these floors just have like a bunch of waves of enemies that just mirrors back and forth. If you see on the left side of the screen, this one, like the first top row was that one, and then we cleared that first wave, and the second one is the exact same, just at the bottom. Every enemy in this floor as well has a pyro aura around them, which is going to drain your HP as well. So because everything is really just the same, I do skip ahead right there, just using Animo Traveler's skill and ult, just keep going on with those guys. So here in the second half, we're going to be dealing with a Dendrosomatral, which is very dangerous because him, compared with the Pyro here, is burning. So at the start of this floor, I do push him over to the other three. At this point, if you have somebody like a Sucrose, you can group all three of them together, do damage like that. But you absolutely want to kill the Dendrosomatral first, because he is most likely going to be the thing that kills you. Burning is deceptively strong. It chunks down your HP so quickly, and that's probably going to kill you. But if you get rid of him altogether, you don't have to worry about that. And at this point, we have to break down a Pyro Abyss Mage shield. But once again, we do not have a Hydro character, so we just have to very, very slowly go through all of this. So every now and then when your characters get low, you can swap over to your healer and just heal everybody back up again. Always be mindful of that. Never get your character to like one tick away from dying expecting them to be healed if your healer is not Barbara, because then you try to swap over to heal them, they're gonna die and you're just gonna have a bad time. So try to heal pretty much as often as possible. Once again, if you do have a Hydro character in both halves, you can put them here. This floor is basically just made to sell Kokomi because, well, at the time of this video, maybe Kokomi's already going to be out. But this is mainly just to sell her, like, hey, you guys, you need a healer, right? A Hydro healer? Use Kokomi. It's like, no. You can do whatever you want, miHoYo. I'm never going to sell him for Kokomi. So again, it's going to be the same thing back and forth. Wave 2 is the exact same thing, just reverse. I just wanted to show that. And then wave 3 again is just going to be that as well. So with that, we're going to move on to the second chamber. In this first half, we're going to be dealing with a lot of treasure hoarders and a pyro gunslinger. So this is the reason why we have Barbara in this first half, because if you do not beat the gunslinger fast enough, he is going to get his shield, and the only way to break his shield reliably is going to be with Hydro. And the only Hydro character we have is Barbara, so I did have to put her here. Once again, is going to be the same thing, using Animo Traveler with his skill and his ult to group up enemies. Similarly, in the second half, again, you can use a Sucrose. You can do really, I mean, if you have a Venti, you're not really like struggling, so you can just do whatever you want at that point. But as you see right there, the Pyro Gunslinger did get up a shield, so I did have to use Barbara to break it down. Otherwise, it would just be really just doing nothing, so I would just have to quit out immediately. So once we kill this first wave, again, the exact same wave is going to spawn in the reverse order. I just wanted to show that. We are going to skip ahead at some point because they are both basically the exact same thing. You clear one wave, it reverses, you clear that wave, it reverses, you clear it again. All these enemies are just here to build corrosion to try to kill you. But once again, do not pull for Kokomi. just to beat floor 11. Like, it's not worth it. It's really hard to 9-star this floor, and as you saw at the start of the video, I did have 7 out of 9 stars. Since then, I have 9-starred it, but it did take a while, and it was very aggravating. But it is still possible. I did have to use 5-star characters, and one of them was Jean, so take with that what you will. We're going to move on to the second half with that one. And here in the second half, again, it's the same thing, treasure hoarders, and this time a pyro agent. So right at the start, there's going to be these potioneers in the back. Focus those ones. I pushed the left one over to the right to get those two together, and then again, at this point, if I had a sucrose, this would be absolutely the perfect time to use her. But the reason why we go after the potioneers first is because the other 3 enemies, the ones that appear in the front, are all going to charge at you, whereas the potioneers are going to actively try to get away from you. So you're going to want to take them out as fast as possible, but then grouping them up with everybody else to do that. And then from here on, again, it's really the same thing. You kill one wave, you move on to the second one, and it's the same thing. Oh wait, no, it's not a pyro agent. I lied. It's a kairagi. Okay, no, okay. So this kairagi, sorry about that. I thought it was a pyro agent. That's the next floor. So this kairagi, normally these guys appear in pairs, but because this one is solo, normally what happens is like when they're in pairs, you kill one and his friend gets powered up. When they're solo, they just start off powered up. So you really, really need to be careful with this guy because he can quite literally one-shot you. He does so much damage. It's absolutely ridiculous. Whenever he uses that like spin attack, you can either get out of the way completely or ult through it, iframe through it, because if you get hit by him, you might get really unlucky and he just chains you and just one-shots you and you die. So there's that. Once again, this second wave is going to be here. I just want to show it spawn, doing the exact same thing. Grouping up the enemies at the back, the potioneers, and then moving up together. That was a misclick. You don't need to see that. We're moving ahead. Skip ahead. You don't need to see this. It's fine. We get 0 stars. Again, this rotation is absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea what this is. But we're going to move on to the third chamber. In this first time, this is where we're fighting the pyro agent. So here we're going to have a cryo system mage, an electro system mage, and a pyro agent. Right at the start, ideally you would have Animo Traveler's ult. Once again, if you do have a Jean right at the start, with Jean you would just pull them in with her elemental skill, shoot them up in the air, and then ult with Animo Traveler. And then just hope that it works. I'm right here just trying to build up my ult as fast as possible to try to group them up. But the unfortunate thing is, well, first of all, this cryo system mage has her shield up. Whenever she has her shield up, you kill her Sisson bats, and then her shield drops. So I do ult to try to get them together, but because she has a shield, she doesn't get pulled in. And then we have to deal with this stupid electro system mage that is just like, you know, I can just not take damage. I can teleport whenever I want, nullify all damage that you would have done to me, and I teleport across the entire room. Thank you for putting this enemy in the floor. I hate this. This was the one that took me forever to 9-star, and it's awful. But you know, it's the same thing. You kill the first half, the exact same 3 spawn in the back, and it's just torture all over again. See, this is what you were supposed to do. Ideally, you would have this ult right at the start, and then you just ult all 3 of them in a line, and then from here you can kind of CC. I think the Electro one, yeah, the Electro one teleporter right there. Like, that's really fair, dude. Like, you nerfed the Nobushi, but you're gonna keep the Sisson mages since the start of the game? Like, okay. Anyway, we're gonna move onto the second half, and the second half is like slightly more tame, I guess. So we're going to deal with a Geo Bishop that eventually is going to turn into Pyro because every enemy is Pyro. He also has an aura. Every single floor has an aura. And then for some reason, 3 Pyro Slimes in the back. I have no idea why. This one specifically is for Kokomi. This one is specifically to be like, hey, look guys, look at how much damage Kokomi does. She's so good. She vaporizes on every hit. Is so good. It's like, no. No, at this point, Kokomi is probably already out. I do have a video going over her, like her skill set, whatever, if she is quote-unquote worth it. She's probably not going to be. I'm just going to say that right now. But if that is out, you can watch that if you want. And once again, with this one, you kill the first wave, the exact same wave spawns in mirror order. So we're just gonna skip ahead, and this takes forever. I can barely clear this one. We barely clear it with 30 seconds left. When I said that I did not have the DPS with Diona, I meant it. And then here are the artifacts if you actually care about them. For Traveler, Bennett, Kaeya, Barbara, Amber, Xiangling, and then the other two don't matter. But I will leave you on this screen if you enjoyed the video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Like and subscribe if you want. I would really appreciate it, especially if you want to see more Spiral Abyss guides. That being said, Spiral Abyss 12 is absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea how that's going to happen. I'm not going to be able to do it with a free-to-play team. If I could barely do it on floor 11, there's absolutely no way I'm going to do it on floor 12. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to put a poll and like the discussion tab or whatever, I'll link to it, that just says, would you want to see floor 12 either with like how I normally do it, which is a 5-star team, or do you just want to see the diagrams, or do you want to see it with like a 4-star team or something? I'll leave the poll in either the description or in the comment or both, so you can tell me what you want, because there's no way it's going to happen with a free-to-play team. So most people don't watch floor 12, but it still gets views, and I still probably going to put out a video with that. But like I said, it's going to be pretty impossible, if not entirely impossible, with a free-to-play team. So I'm going to leave that up to you. What do you want to see? Because I have no idea what to do with that floor. I can barely snag 3 stars. I normally can get 6 stars, but this rotation is really impossible. I can only get 3, and I'm not even going to try because it's not even worth it. So there's that. So I'm going to leave you with that. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure I already said that, but I will see you then.
Bye-bye.